Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Bonus Points, or mostly Ellie's Juries over here on YouTube. If you enjoy this episode, please support us over on Patreon for just €3, $3, £3, one of these currencies. You can join the junior tier, and then you can listen to the entire podcast, and you can also join the Discord, where we have lovely chats about some of the news a bit early.
And if you join the senior tier, which I think is €5, you can get exclusive access to audios from interviews that we've done in the past and coming up for this season as well.
And then there's also the €1 tier, and you get Discord access for sure, and also newsletters every now and then. We need to figure out which news are in the podcast and which are written down, but we will make it work. And it's just €1 per month, €12 per year. So yeah, enjoy this episode. And also follow us on all social media accounts that you can find in the comments. And enjoy this episode now. Bye-bye. This one is funny because it was geo-blocked. So I don't know who skated. I don't know the song they skated to. I don't know the country they skated for. Because Lois just recorded the skate and there was no information there. Wait, I think I'm going to start it before I don't even know whether it's the short or the free.
Okay, so I will list out everything for you. Would you like their entire Wikipedia page?
No.
Okay. So the skates I've chosen for you of prompted suggestion by Lois, but it's also like genuinely one of my favorite skates from last season. It was in my top skates thing from the season recap. Is Maria Mokhova and Ivan Mokhov's short program from last season, which they're also using this season, which is Malagueña. They have been a pairs team for quite a few years. They represent the US. Obviously, sibling team. He's 24, she is 17. Both their parents are skaters, and I think their parents are their coaches as well. So yeah, I really love this skate just from, I don't know, this is your time, but I love the skate. Okay, go.
You can always comment in between.
Okay.
First of all, this is how I find out what Malagueña sounds like. Because I didn't know before.
Did you not?
No. I always avoided that skate because I'm like, I knew I would probably not like the music. But also, maybe I changed my mind. So we will see. We will see. I love how they are in their opening pose, and then on that very first note, they look at each other. I think that's a very smart move to open something, like with a very short turn of the head. Like the turn of the head is so powerful and strong, and it really set the mood for the skate. Even though, of course, at this point I have no idea what to expect. So while I'm writing this and talking about this now, they are very in sync. Like, I just loved the opening choreography, which was the step sequence. Like, they are so in sync. They are doing, it was perfect how they did that. And they are doing little like side lunges, which I don't know, I really enjoyed that part of the choreography. And I also have like some very, very pretty arm movements in there. So it was a great start for me. I do have to say, even though I love their arms, their claps could be a bit more enthusiastic. Like, they should put a bit more energy into their claps. They were very soft claps. And I like an aggressive clap when I skate to music like that.
Okay.
I don't know. That was just my impression. And now we are arriving at a stage of the choreography where I cannot describe what they are doing, but I enjoyed it. So there's like, they're doing a little jump. I think it's still like the step sequence or whatever is following up. They haven't done like any of the major elements yet, like a twist or a throw. Or I think the first one they're really doing is a jump after the step sequence. They haven't done any of that yet. So they are doing like a little jump where they are, I can't explain it. But you can see it on the screen. And for people who are, there's not a version we can upload, really. I just remembered.
We can link the geo-blocked one at least. I did try and find a non-geo-blocked one. No one has uploaded it.
Oh, that's too bad. No, but there's like a very pretty jump sequence in there. And then they have so many beautiful like rotations. It's just a very pretty skate. And then I said, I don't know if this is still the step sequence, but I just love how smooth they are after that jump. They are very in sync. And again, this is why a podcast format can be really bad for this kind of stuff, because I don't know how they, I don't know how to describe how they move together. But again, you can see it on the screen right now. There's so much fluidity, and like the elements just perfectly weave in and out of each other. It's beautiful. And they also use every single beat of the music to elevate their performance. I cannot identify instruments, so I can't like be like, and then the sets in and they do this. But the music at one point is giving them like swooshing sounds. It's like swoosh, swoosh. I love how instead of singing it now, trying to mimic instruments. And yeah, and they will use those little swoosh sounds to like do a little rotation with their legs to the side or move their arms up to the swoosh. Again, you can see it on the screen right now. And it's just like everything they do works well with the music, elevates the music elevates their skate. So it's very pretty. And then I love how you can tell their change in speed and energy once the music changes. I want to say it's a guitar, but I don't think that's the right instrument. But when the
guitar, it sounds like it.
Yeah, when the guitar like sound sets in, they are moving into the jumps. And I was very impressed how they build that up with the speed and with the change of the music. And usually for pairs, my highlights are always like the twist and the throw. But in this case, it might be the step sequence. I also feel like a lot of pair skaters use a very similar sequence of elements. They always do this first and this first and this first. And for them, they started with a step sequence, which I thought was interesting.
That's one of like the first things that made me go, oh, about them, because it is not normal. I think I remember Megan Duhamel saying that most people start with the twist to get it out the way because it's the most like trickiest element to get around, I guess. Yeah. And their twist was their third element.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting because they did so much before. Then they increased the speed, skated even faster, did the jump, and then I think it was like the throw or twist, like one of those. And I was like, damn, how? I think usually the pair skaters do it in a special order because it's like exhausting to do certain elements.
Yeah, it's normally like twist, jump, throw, or twist, throw, jump, and then like
2 lifts or like 1 lift.
Spiral and spin. Yeah. It's quite formulaic for a short program, at least. Like free skate, they do change up most of the rest of the elements, but I say like 95% of the time the twist will be first.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was great to mix it up like that. And the throw wasn't super big, but she landed it. So, and what really impressed me was the choreo right after and how they're still keeping super in sync and are still skating super fast. They really kept up with the speed of the music and the ever-changing speed of the music. Yeah, which is very impressive. The lift looks good. They're going in pretty fast, and he also starts rotating pretty soon after getting into the lift. I think we've talked about this before, how that's how I judge a lift, by how fast they get into it and find the balance, and then how soon after he starts to rotate. And they've done it pretty well, pretty decent. And then after the lift, they pick up speed again. Like, how do they do that? And I think the death spiral is perfectly timed with the speed of the music. Yeah, I think they're like half a second late on the ending pose, but
it's fine. Small things.
Yeah, it was a small thing.
So you mentioned you'd never listened to the music before, but now it's time to rate the skate. What do you think of the music?
Well, I did not mention the piece of music because until like 10 minutes ago, I didn't know what it was. So I think we have established by now that it takes a lot for a classical piece of music, or like music without singing, to keep me entertained and engaged and interested. I think what really helped in this case was their interpretation of the music and the choreography. I would never listen to this on its own, like without the skate. But the way they build up speed with like the different music pieces or the music cuts, or maybe it's one piece, I don't know, that just takes up speed. And also how they varied their speed, and then how they used like every single note in the music for like those very small movements at times. Like they just turn their head or they lift their hands. And that really kept me engaged and interested for the entire 3 minutes. Yeah, I think that's a testament to the skaters and to the choreographer. Still, if I were to rate just the music, with some push of the rating because of their skating, I would give it a 3 out of 5.
That's good. I was when you kept saying like it's not your thing, I was expecting a bit lower.
I also like it was between a 2.5 or a 3, but I really enjoyed how they skated to it. And like I wasn't bored. Like sometimes doing a classical piece, I'm just like, okay, please do something.
I know, because I'm the same, because classical music can be so repetitive and you feel like you're just listening to the same thing over and over and over and over. And I also want to shout out their choreographers who are their parents,
Aww.
Oksana and Andre, because I really want them to choreograph for some other teams, because if they can do this well, I want to see what it's like on like higher teams.
Yeah.
I think that would be so interesting.
I think they did a great job.
It's so good. So on to their costumes.
Costumes was difficult for me to rate. Because I do enjoy costumes more that are on the simpler but elegant side of things. Like I do appreciate an interesting cutout, or like, I don't know, an interesting cut more than like a very literal interpretation of the skate. That being said, I really like how her skirt like moved and flowed during the choreography, and I really like the red layer under the skirt because it would peek out under it. There were a lot of elements on her top that looked like lacing, and I guess it was like to reminiscent a corset. To look like a corset. It's not for me. There was ruffles at the chest. I did not like that. But also from afar, like from while they were skating, I didn't see any of these details. And like in the stream, I barely even noticed any of this. And I just saw the pretty skirt move. And I think sometimes I just have to remind myself that it's not for close-ups. Their costumes aren't for close-ups. Their costumes are probably to look good for the judges and the fans and the audience. I think his costume was supposed to be like torero, bullfighter inspired. Is that a...
Yeah, because I think it's like Paso Doble music. So I would I would go with that.
It looked like that. I did like that they used velvet for the jacket portion, and I also really liked the embroidery on his shoulder. Did not like the rhinestone fake buttons. I'm not a fake button person.
I love how in detail this is. I'd have just been like, yeah, they're all right.
I do like fashion. So I'm not very judgmental. I feel bad saying anything bad. Because again, we've talked about this before. Sometimes people only have limited resources, or sometimes things don't translate as well as you might have envisioned or something. And again, up close, it's also a very different thing than watching them skate on the ice. Like, for example, rhinestones look very different, or like sequins look very different when you see them sparkling in person versus when you see them on a stream. Like they sparkle like crazy. It's insane. And then you see it on the stream and nothing is happening at all. So yes, overall I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Could have been
Okay.
worse.
It could have.
And I can't give a low score.
There is a minus scale. I'm still waiting to like I need okay. I need something to come along that like maybe we need a choreography section for the minus to maybe happen.
I don't want to give, no, I can't give a minus. Oh my God. Oh, that would break my heart.
So overall, what would you rate the skate?
I love the energy they brought to this performance. They did not leave a single note in the song uninterpreted, which makes it so much fun to watch over and over again and like discover new moments in the skate. I do think there was like they gave like 90% of embodiment of the music, and they could have gone to like 100%. Sometimes a bit more energy, like doing the clapping, which I mentioned before. They could have been a bit more energetic. But also like the energy changed once the music started to speed up. And every time they did that, it just felt like they brought more energy to it. They really made me enjoy the music. There wasn't a single boring moment in the choreography. The core elements like the throw and the twist, they were good, not mind-blowing, but they executed them well. Nothing too exciting, but like the step sequence and all of the different moments in between the elements was just amazing. Have they thought about ice dance? They're really good.
I think the US would be too stacked for that.
Yeah.
But I agree. They
have, I mean, not that you can't do the same thing with pairs and put pairs element into it, but yeah, I really, really liked all of the dance elements of it. So I gave it an overall score of 4 out of 5.
That's so good.
Yeah. At first I thought 3 out of 5 because I give a bunch of 4s all the times. But they impressed me and they made me like the music, so I enjoyed it.
Very high compliment.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow and support us on all social media sites that you can find. You can find the links in the comments below. Join our Patreon if you want to have more of this. And yeah, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye.